always, from the heart of the city, and now on demand 24/7 on the CHFI website. This is the soundtrack to accompany a slow turning. And I'm Don Jackson, around the world on the internet. The season is turning, but it's a subtle change. It sort of creeps up on you. The days are getting shorter as we begin the downward run into this Labor Day weekend. We began summer with some Midsummer Night's Dreams. Well, the dream is almost over. No matter what we do to try to slow down the headlong rush of days, we know that autumn lurks just around the corner for lovers and other strangers. From iTunes and CHFI.com. Natalie Cole with Nat King Cole, Unforgettable, and Neil Diamond and September Morn. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. It's the time we start looking over our shoulders to see where we've been. Many journeys are made now, including a journey of self-discovery. Rod McEwen wrote a poem called Journey. These are a few short excerpts from it, and I quote, "Midsummer is not the only reason I am going home to the yellow corn and the grasshopper playing in the tall grass, and the indolent butterfly darting from marigold to rose and back again. I am going home again to meet the dreaded winter and the unsure spring, and the girl whose eyes never left mine when we swam together in the river and made love below the old brick bridge." Unquote. Rod McEwen from a poem called Journey. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Sting in Fields of Gold and Neil Young Out Under a Harvest Moon. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. There is almost a pause that you can sense when summer passes the halfway point and begins its journey toward autumn. Fred Lape wrote something called Midsummer Pause. It appeared in a collection entitled Barnyard Year, published by Harper & Row. There is a moment in midsummer when the earth pauses between flower and fruit. The hay is cut, the oats ripen. On pasture knolls, pearly, everlasting, lifts its small fountains of silver and gold. The skies are blue. The hills rest all day, like men at noon under a shady tree. The leaves have turned dark green. They hoard their strength. No strong wind harms them. Boys swim under the big elm tree by the creek. Locusts drone in the trees. The swallows gather on wires, and starlings in flocks wheel over the meadows like curving hands. Fred Lape in Midsummer Pause. We're well past midsummer now. With Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Steely Dan and Hey 19. Johnny Rivers in The Summer Rain and Jann Arden, Insensitive. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Nancy of Delaware remembers something sadly sweet from a summer a long time ago. She was quoted in a piece by Greg Wilson that appeared in an article on summer love in a past issue of USA Today. And I quote, It was the first real romance I had with a guy who didn't wear glasses, she says. And he had a Corvair convertible, powder blue. We drove around everywhere. It was wonderful. I was 18 and shallow. He was even reasonably attractive. Unquote. As Craig Wilson goes on to write about Nancy's lingering echo of a midsummer memory, the romance went on into August when they were to rendezvous in Wildwood, New Jersey for a romantic weekend. Once she got there, she got a telegram. He wasn't coming. She says, "It was the only telegram I've ever gotten in my life. I never saw him again. But I still remember that convertible." Unquote. Sidney King Russell wrote, "You loved me for a little, who could not love me long. You gave me wings of gladness, and lent my spirit song. You loved me for an hour, but only with your eyes. Your lips I could not capture by storm or by surprise. Your mouth that I remember with rush of sudden pain, as one remembers starlight or roses after rain. Out of a world of laughter, suddenly I am sad. Day and night it haunts me, the kiss I never had." Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Kelly Rowland with Unity and Dido's White Flag. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Thus without grief, the golden days go by, so soft, we scarcely notice how they wend. And like a smile, half happy or a sigh, the summer passes to her quiet end. The words of Archibald Lampman. And H.E. Bates, in a writing called Through the Woods, wrote, "Summer and autumn fuse into each other in a mild wonder of two soft days." W. Philip Keller in Still Waters wrote, "It was a warm September morning, aglow with mellow sunlight, with leaves fluttering in the wind." In the September 96 issue of Victoria magazine, in the Favorite Things column, a porch and a wicker chair are featured in a photograph, accompanied by these words chosen by contributing writer Mary Forcell. The words of A.E. Hausman, she said, are appropriate to accompany the picture. She says, "The perfect place to listen to summer's parting sighs." As A.E. Hausman said so well. Unquote. There's something about the Labor Day long weekend that elicits many sighs. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Matt Nathanson, Come On Get Higher, and Eric Clapton with Layla. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. It was quiet. A red-winged blackbird sat on fence wire and looked in at her. A meadowlark called from the roadside grass. Nothing else moved in the white sun of August. Robert Kincaid came to me on the 16th of August, a Monday, in 1965. He was trying to find Roseman Bridge. It was late afternoon, hot, and he was driving a pickup truck he called Harry. Excerpts from The Bridges of Madison County by Robert James Waller. At the end of August, we know where our journey will lead us. Autumn is eventually where we're headed. With Lovers and Other Strangers. From iTunes and CHFI.com. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.